Decentro Media's presence at the World Blockchain Summit in Singapore is brought to you in part by Latium, tokenizing the gig economy and also increasing online profile integrity with a proof of human verification system. Check it out at Latium.org.
Hi everyone and welcome to Decentro Report. I am Decentro here at the World Blockchain Summit, and John has joined me from Bithub.Africa. John, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So how has the summit been for you?
The summit has been quite good for us.
Yep.
This is our third summit. We've been doing the World Blockchain Summit tour in Dubai, Nairobi, where we hosted the summit, and now in Singapore. So it's been a very interesting forum for us to meet investors, partners, and even users of our products.
All right, so this is the first project out of Africa I've had the privilege of interviewing, and when you look at blockchain and the proposed benefits for humanity, places like the whole continent of Africa really stand to benefit the most from the technology. So I want to pick your brain about what's actually happening right now in Africa.
Yes.
And is blockchain already helping people there? And you're from Kenya, so that's probably where the basis of the conversation will be. So let's hear it.
So at Bithub.Africa, we've been doing meetups across the African continent.
Right.
We've gone to about 7 countries.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere we go, we see a huge hunger for cryptocurrencies in particular.
Right.
Mainly because it provides an open and permissionless platform for people to transact and do business.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lot of crypto traders. I met a young man who's able to sort of bring his family into a good standard of living just by trading cryptocurrency. So there is good potential in the sense of increasing, ownership of digital assets and opportunities for people.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, we also have a lot of scams. You have the pyramid schemes and the Ponzi schemes as well. So that's sort of the bad side of crypto. But in general, we have a lot of people who are excited about the opportunity and are now innovating and developing applications such as ourselves.
Okay. So let's just talk about the access people have to the market and current potential, and current uses. I understand in Africa, cross-border payments traditionally can be really expensive.
Yes.
Are there any use cases already where that's helping people not pay a 20% premium just to send money across a border?
Yeah, exactly. So we actually incubate a startup called Bitmari.com.
Okay.
And they are a remittance platform operating in the West, UK, US, sending money to Zimbabwe.
Right.
And they've been able to build this remittance network and are now using it as a layer to build other applications.
All right.
Like contract farming, investing. So the biggest
so would that be investing, letting global investors invest in small farms
in Zimbabwe?
All right.
So and that's the challenge of Africa, the story of Africa, the lack of access to trading opportunities, lack of access to capital, and therefore even the skills have not been adequately sort of nurtured over time. So blockchain technology gives us an opportunity to sort of accelerate that development, and indeed this is just a phenomenon that's happening across the world. That's quite interesting to watch.
That's cool. So have there been farms that have received capital, and what's the result?
So they've done about $20,000 to, if I'm not wrong, about 10 farmers, and the returns are quite high. A lot of farmers are able to pay back,
right,
and also use their profits to reinvest maybe in a solar pump, which also brings us to another project.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. So it's very interesting to see the dynamic of when you create this one ecosystem, it nurtures other ecosystems, and it doesn't take much to really change the game when you're talking about lifting people out of poverty. So that's what excites me a lot about blockchain and cryptocurrency, not just the speculation, but now the innovation and the disruption.
Yeah. Cool. So $20,000 contributing to 10 separate farms.
Yes.
That's really remarkable, and it really shows you how the imbalance of global finance can actually help Africa right now, because it's not that expensive to help quite a few people.
Yes.
And of course, blockchain being seamless and borderless really makes it easy to pump money into places that's needed.
Yeah.
So it's cool you guys are helping facilitate that.
Yeah.
I heard about a project out of Ghana that is specifically training programmers to program and develop on blockchain. Are you guys involved with actually training people on the ground?
Yes, so we've tried to, we're setting up a platform called WebHive. So it's going to be an academy for programmers.
Right.
So I've been, to the US for training. So we've now been able to sort of develop our curriculum and look for interested engineers. And actually that's part of the social impact side of our business, which is just creating the footprint and pool of developers that will create even more interesting solutions in the future. So that's one of the key things, at least from the technical side, that needs to be done to create the capacity that we can leverage, to innovate.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I see an on-the-ground effort to create new developers much more powerful than just getting money or just having outside groups come in and do the development.
Yes.
So on-the-ground effort is really commendable. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about is it Melanin?
Melanin, yes.
Yeah. So from what I understand, that's the first sort of system that's operating off of Bithub.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, so this is our first distributed or decentralized application.
All right.
We're building it on the WebHive platform that I talked about earlier.
Okay.
So essentially what it does is it mines cryptocurrency using solar energy and also customized devices like this one. We can just pull out and reach to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
here, let's get a close-up of this. Can I unplug it?
Yes, please do.
So what does this device do?
So that's called a node. It's an Intel NUC, and it has capacity to run the blockchain. So right now it's running the Bitcoin and Lightning blockchain.
So it's a microcomputer.
It's a microcomputer.
Yeah, great.
But they're getting smarter and smarter and smaller and smaller.
And probably cheaper than a regular computer?
Yes.
All right.
So the idea is for us to merge mine a token, which is called the WIVE token, using Bitcoin as a security layer.
Right.
So these are called sidechains. And then give an opportunity to the engineers that I was talking about to mine these tokens. They learn about mining, they learn about programming.
Right.
So they get the whole 360-degree picture. And at the same time, leverage that technology for innovation. So one of the things we realized with the farmers I was talking about earlier in Zimbabwe is that many of them don't have reliable access to electricity from the national providers, which are monopolies. So they can't do things like water pump. They can't have water pumps. They can't do basic agro-processing. So if you're able to provide them an off-grid solution that's sustainable for them, then they're able now to have a bit more processing, a bit more packaging, and get better return for their products. So the challenge is the vendors that have come in, they use debt-driven models, which put these farmers in distress. So they're not able to pay back their loans, and the vendors themselves also, end up in a negative situation, and it's a big sort of disaster that happens.
Right.
So what Melanin does now, it flips that model on the head, where people now are able to earn cryptocurrency, and these are the vendors in particular.
Yeah.
They just need to add these devices onto their solar units.
Right.
That creates microgrid, mini-grid ecosystem. So you can now have the token used for utility payments, and then after you have utility payments, you can now have a community currency.
Yep.
So which solves the problem of inflation, as you know, which is a challenge with fiat. So our project is a long-term project. It's the biggest opportunity, in my view, in Africa, Asia, Southeast Asia, and even the Middle East, where you have dense populations or you have rural populations that don't have access to reliable power. So this is something we're doing. We're looking for partners across the world who will help us sort of integrate the solutions, and our job is just really to ensure that the blockchain protocol is functioning as it should, and we're innovating on the distributed applications, and we just let the business people do the rest. Sort of take the tool and scale it across the markets.
I just want to ask you, when money is contributed to a farm,
yes,
are they buying solar panels with that?
Yeah. So
are they also buying a mining unit? This mines, correct?
Yes.
This is a miner.
That mines.
Yeah.
So essentially, what they're doing is the same vendors can supply the solar units, but they don't have to rely on debt. So this is what cryptocurrency does.
Yeah.
It turns a liability situation into an asset situation.
Yeah.
So the farmers now actually deserve to earn a share of what's being produced by these solar panels, because the vendor is using their land or is using their roof real estate to mine these cryptocurrencies. So the vendors, at least the ones we've talked to, are excited about the idea. So it's just an issue of creating the right form factor or the right user experience that makes sense for everyone in the ecosystem.
That's really cool, and I just want to make sure I got this. So a vendor will supply the solar panels, and through mining they can pay that back. That's such a good system. That's awesome. What do you tell the people to mine?
So
cryptocurrencies?
We're doing our own token, which is optimized for solar.
Right.
Yeah. So one parameter is it gives a preference to miners who are in daylight by tracking time zones.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things you can do with blockchain code because it's open source. You can take different approach, different angles. So this is the one that we think is the best for Africa.
Right, and that the token it's probably a cryptocurrency, yeah?
It's a cryptocurrency.
Okay, so the crypto that's being mined, what's that called?
It's called Wive.
Wive.
Yes, Wive.
All right, and how is that monetized? How does the vendor turn that into?
So we intend to partner with a lot of exchanges.
Okay, right.
So we're talking to quite a number.
That's why you're on this tour.
That's why we're on this tour.
Right.
Precisely.
How has that gone for you?
It's going pretty well.
Yeah.
In fact, we now get approached, which is a good position to be in. So I'm not too worried about that. I think the challenge is ensuring that the blockchain is secure.
Yeah.
And the user experience is well thought through. And that's quite difficult from a design perspective. Yeah.
Have you talked to Gibraltar X?
Gibraltar X, I think my colleague has.
Okay.
I think I'll shoot over to them when I get a chance.
And I'm also acquainted with CoinX. Do you know Coin?
I think I've heard of CoinX. Yes.
Yeah, I'd be an honor to introduce you guys to the CEO there. So I'd like to do that for you guys if I can.
Yes, please.
Yeah, right on.
All
okay,
right.
well, John, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And this is John from Bithub.Africa. Really changing the scene down there, and this is an exciting project to keep an eye on for the future.
If you liked this video, make sure you like and share it. It really helps what we do. Decentro Media is on the ground, revealing the best of the blockchain industry and the people behind it face to face just for you. So please subscribe. Thanks for watching.